The Channel Lock Challenge from the Bristol Motor Speedway is being brought to you by Mopar, parts for Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles from the dealerships that sell and install them. So for night number one of the Channel Lock Challenge, it is all over, and that's how the finishing numbers look. See how your favorite did. Nice run tonight for Blake Feast.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, backed up a little bit, but still a good run for a young guy.
But obviously, nobody able to out. Last night, the Minot missile, Donnie Schatz, won the preliminary A-main at Bristol among all the fireworks. Fireworks that carried over from the racetrack to the pits. Controversy bubbling over between Lasowski and Swindell.
He's a little nervous here. He don't like to go this fast anyways.
That's for you, Sammy.
If he can't handle it, you know, he needs to park it.
Well, he's going to mess with the bull. He's going to get the horn, I can tell you that.
It's night two from Bristol, the Matador, the Bull, all coming your way on TNN. Well, if last night was the undercard, this evening we've got the 12-round heavyweight championship bout. The Pennzoil World of Outlaws are back at the fastest dirt half mile in America, the Bristol Motor Speedway, hosting TNN Sports and our coverage of night number two of the Channel Lock Challenge. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm Eli Gold. Hope you enjoyed last night's coverage, and if you did, I have a feeling we're in for a little bit more of the same here this evening over the course of these next 2 hours. Emotions still bubbling over down in the pits. We'll be heading down there in just a moment or so. Joining me on the telecast tonight, as per usual, my sidekick Brad Doty, who at this moment, 1 week ago, was being inducted into the Sprint Car Racing Hall of Fame in Knoxville, Iowa. Such deserved honor that finally was bestowed upon you, Brad. We have congratulated you time and again, but once more with pictures this time. We couldn't resist.
Thanks, Eli. I can tell you it was an awesome day, and I want to thank all the people that helped me in my career, especially the car owners that I've had through the years. Lord knows I couldn't afford one of these race cars, so I want to thank them. Now, that was an exciting night, I'm sure, for you. Maybe a little tension inside, not unlike what we saw here last night at Bristol, huh? Well, we opened the show talking about tensions being high and a little frustration going on, and these guys, they carried it on to the racetrack last night. Now, if you thought that maybe a chance to sleep things over a little bit made Sammy Swindell and Danny Lasowski a little cooler, they'll say they have forgotten what happened last night, but that's not what this videotape will tell you.
It's unfortunate what happened last night. Went down there man-to-man. I guess it wasn't man-to-man. I guess it was man-to-baby. So I asked him why he running to me on the caution flag, and he said, I guess you were just there. So if that's the way he wants to be, that's how it is. I don't really care.
I don't know what his problem was. There wasn't nothing. You know, I guess he decided there wasn't going to have any cameras at his car, so he had to come down to where they were.
All thing I know is where I come from, those are fighting words. Well, that might happen, but Sammy feels like he was wronged, but Lasowski got put up in front of him by the officials. It wasn't, or Lasowski, and it wasn't his fault. Sammy went up there and bumped him a little bit, and that maybe was uncalled for. Does trouble just kind of follow Sammy Swindell? I mean, he's out there minding his own business, and here comes trouble driving up, or what? He doesn't always go looking for it. It seems to find him, but after last year, the similar situation happened, and maybe they're keeping a closer eye on him last night. One thing I know we don't have to worry about is the weather. As it was beautiful last night, so too today. These fans are sitting in 75-degree temperatures, as you see. There is not a single cloud in the sky. It is a magnificent night for racing here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Now, with the racing completed last night, already 4 drivers are locked into tonight's A-main. The Chesson family did well here last night. Yeah, young James, he had a really good run to run the top 4 on his high-speed racetrack. Joining him, Sammy Swindell. He's already in the A-main with that 3rd place finish a night ago. He's the defending Channel Lock Challenge champion. Yeah, after starting 8th, he had a good run. Jeff Shepard there. Real good run for him. Led early, fell back to 2nd. There's the crew chief of the winning car, Donnie Schatz. And maybe the hottest guy on the circuit is Donnie Schatz of late in the last 11 races. Only once has he failed to finish in the top 10, and he's calling this whole year a dream come true for him.
It's an awesome dream to live. This is something I've wanted to do since I was barely old enough to walk, and to be able to do it with these guys and race at their level and beat them is just absolutely awesome. you know, it makes my aspirations go higher than this. I want to go race, you know, Winston Cup or Indy cars and see if I can do it there too, and see if I have the ability to do it.
Now, certainly the good news is those 4 guys are already locked in for tonight, but the downside is they don't get as much time on this racetrack this evening, and it has changed some from last night. How tough of a trade-off is that?
Well, the track is a lot different. It's a lot drier. It's the second night. These guys are going to be guessing all night long what the track's doing, what kind of tires they're going to have to run. They're going to have to keep an eye on the other competitors and watch what they're doing.
Now, with those 4 already locked in, here's how the format looks for the remainder of the evening as we fill the field for the A main. Again, 4 will be advancing out of the O'Reilly heats, then the Dash, the B, and 30 laps this evening, up from 25 of a night ago in the A main. Should be quite a night here at Bristol.
Well, there's extra 5 laps. A lot of things can happen, and that's going to get them in lap traffic, and that's going to make or break the race.
So now we take a look at the starting lineup for the first of the O'Reilly Auto Parts heats, and we've got some major names in this one, Bradley.
Yeah, again, look, Lasowski back there in the 3rd row along with Herrera. They've got a ways to go to get up in that top 4.
You know, all evening long, because of the format and what happened here last night, we're going to see some big names right through into the B, and we're going to likely see some big names not even make the A main tonight.
Yeah, every car here, barring a couple of them, are capable of winning this race tonight. So, yeah, we're going to have a loaded-up B main.
2 onboard sets of cameras in this first heat. These obviously from Andy Hillenberg's machine, and Johnny Herrera giving us this view as well as we get set to go racing here. You know, don't let the crowd fool you. This is a racetrack that holds 147,000 people. 147,000 people. As you can see, there are a lot of empty seats. But in and around all of that, you've got 30,000 or so who are here this evening. They kind of get lost in this big track, but a 30,000 person crowd is darn good for the Pennzoil World of Outlaws.
It really is, and they're scattered, as you'll see, all over the racetrack.
But we are set to go green. It's in the air from Roger Slack, and here we go with the 5M surging to the front, and a nice slide move there. Stevie Smith and Hillenberg in their battle there for second. Hillenberg to the inside of Smith.
Typical slide job. Drove in the bottom and went up and slid in front of Stevie Smith, and Smith pulled right back around him. Now he went in low. He wasn't going to let Andy do it again down in that corner. He entered the corner low, so Andy couldn't do that.
Riding with Hillenberg.
Oh, it looked like he about got in the side of Mark Kinzer, Steve Smith there in a black car. Again, the track, we talked about it a little bit ago. The track is a lot drier. Going to see a lot more sliding.
Why the different style, though? Smith is sliding all over the place, and other guys like these, and in particular Kinzer, seem to be very much on a rail.
Well, it's all the tire selection, the torsion bar selection, how locked down they have the race car is how much it slides.
By the way, happy 5th anniversary to that guy, Danny Lasowski. He and his wife Chris celebrating their 5th anniversary today. Darren Pittman running in the 4th spot. He's in that blue 3. The black 2 of Hillenberg, then Stevie Smith, and Mark Kinzer coming off the corner back to the stripe.
Talked to Dennis Kohler today, and the mechanic, one of the mechanics on Mark Kinzer's car, and we've talked about the oil leak in the Mopar before, and today, sitting there talking to him, we found a fitting in the valve cover crack, so they think that might have been where the smoke was coming from last night.
Still, however, leads the Pennzoil World of Outlaws, as you see, in the season-long points.
Kind of fortunate last night, got caught up in the accident, and they were able to get it fixed and get it back out.
There's the spread. Pittman to Lasowski. That's 4th to 5th place. But nobody touching that guy, Mark Kinzer. And look how he's barely even moving the steering wheel. That's when you know how well you're set up.
You betcha. Yep, that's it. If you see the driver not thrashing on that steering wheel back and forth as he takes the win, he's very comfortable in that car.
Kinzer, Smith, Hillenberg, and Pittman. Those are the 4 across the stripe, and they will automatically advance. Danny Lasowski does not advance automatically out of heat number 1, so he'll be heading to the B main. That's what we talked about earlier. He's one of the big names who'll be trying to earn his way into the A through the 12-lap B main coming up later this evening.
Yeah, it was a nice run for Pittman, kind of a young team there, and Roger Johnson, the crew chief on that car. They're all a bunch of young guys, so it was a nice run for them to be locked into the A main.
I'll tell you, though, anytime Mark Kinzer, and I've not seen as many races, obviously, as you nor as many of our viewers, but anytime Mark Kinzer comes out of the box like that, I usually see him being around at the finish.
Yeah, they look real strong right now, and they will be there at the end.
Meanwhile, as we mentioned earlier in the show, 4 drivers, by virtue of their top 4 finish here last night, advanced already to this evening's A main. Hey, good to see you there. Nice to have you come by. Standing by in the pits with some of our automatic transferees is the associate editor of Open Wheel magazine, Dave Argabright.
Well, you know, Eli, the talk last night centered a lot around Sammy Swindell and Danny Lasowski, but it might have overshadowed the fact that Sammy had a very good race car. You're awfully good here at Bristol, Sammy. What do you have for him tonight?
You too, it's Paul McMahon, and starting
I'm sorry, I said you're awfully good here. What do you have for him tonight? Do you have the car to win?
Well, I think the Channel Lock Fan Steel Stealth is going to be a great car again tonight. We kind of went a little bit in the wrong direction, had the car too tight, and made some changes tonight. Looked at our notes from last year, and the car was real quick there in the warm-ups. We were a good 2/10 quicker than the other guys, so if we keep that up, be in good shape.
We wish you well in that feature, Sammy. James Chesson, you had a great night last night. You're locked in, but you almost won the race. Were you disappointed?
There is a little disappointment to be had, but it was nice to have a solid finish and get locked in for this evening. And I think going into tonight, we'll have a better car than we did last night because we learned a lot from last night. Starting on the pole, it's a little disappointing and not winning it, but I think we'll be better tonight and hopefully we'll be able to pass Sammy. I think he'll get worn out, him and his old age, and we'll be able to get him.
And we wish you well, James. Eli?
All right, guys, thank you very much. When we come back, O'Reilly Heat Race number 2. We got honeymooners here. And some darn good racers. We're back in a moment. Air, setting the performance standard in heating and air conditioning. Good crowd on hand here this evening for the Pennzoil World of Outlaws. Those lower rows are closed off for the fans. They want them to sit a little bit further back. But Bobby Gerald has one of the best seats in the house. Bobby?
That's right. We're down here in the pits. Jeff Shepard is locked in by virtue of finishing second last night. He'll start second in the dash tonight. Jeff, you're going to be starting next to Donnie Schatz. What do you think of your chances coming up in that dash for a front row starting berth in the A main?
Well, I think we'll be okay. We just got to get a really good start off of turn 4. It's going to be tough. It isn't going to be easy at all. The track's real slick, and I think that the start's where most of the passing's done.
All right, Jeff Shepard, we'll be watching him. Dave Argabright.
Even though you won that heat, you've got a rough way to go. You won the heat, but
obviously we've got some audio problems with Dave's microphone. We'll be getting back downstairs to he and Mark Kinzer in just a moment or so. So right now, let's take a look at the starting lineup for grid number 2 of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Heat Races. P.J. Chesson in this one. Paul McMahon, Tim Schaefer, Saldana, Jason Sides. He had a tough time here last night, if you remember.
Yeah, I got crashed on the back straightaway and took a pretty hard hit. They've got a brand new race car out today. Ricky Warner and those guys working hard to get a car back ready tonight.
Meanwhile, Donnie Schatz, he just looks on from the sanctity of his team's transporter. Now he's learning what? The condition of the track by just watching the heats.
Yeah, he's one of the 4. Obviously, he's the winner, so they're watching. But boy, the way the track conditions are tonight, Eli, they're especially glad they're locked into tonight because the track was so dry in qualifying. If you drew a late number to qualify, it could set you back for the whole evening.
And they had fire hoses playing on this track when we all arrived here at about 2:30 this afternoon.
Put a lot of water on, but again, bright, beautiful, sunshiny day, and it's the second night of on a dirt track.
Green flag in the air. P.J. Chesson to the front with Schaefer right behind in the Vibrant colors. Running with Jason Myers back in 7th spot. Myers, who has finished no higher than 10th in the 23 starts since the race at Fort Worth. Back up front, Chesson, who hit the wall hard here a year ago. Getting the challenge from Schaefer.
Put a little bit of a move on there, and Chesson did the smart thing. Turned right, gave him a little bit of room. Schaefer, I always thought, was basically better known for as a short track driver, but boy, he's really coming on the big tracks. And
yeah, remember he was 3rd at Hagerstown and 4th at Charlotte here in the past 3 weeks.
They struggled for a while. He says the new Penske shocks that they've got right now, I talked about it last night, a lot of shock technology going on. There's AFCO's got a new nitrogen-charged shock. I mean, there's 4 or 5 shock manufacturers. Used to be 1 or 2 in sprint car racing. Now there's so many, and it's very critical. And he said that's all they changed was put some different Penske shocks on, and that thing's been fast.
Gressman trying to chase down Schaefer and Chesson. Schaefer's lead is 1 4/10 seconds right there on P.J. Chesson.
You can see that. I'm sorry, Eli. You can see that shot of Schaefer there, as you mentioned before with Mark Kinzer, not moving hands a lot. The car not wiggling around a lot. He is very comfortable right now. You don't see the front wheels flopping from side to side, and he's just steadily pulling away.
Working back towards the white flag. One more lap for Schaefer. It is Schaefer, Chesson, Gressman, and McMahon right now. And it does not look as that running order is going to change at all. By 2 seconds, Schaefer is going to put everybody away. P.J. Chesson, Gressman, McMahon in the U2. So that means Sides, Myers, Saldana, and Crabtree unable to advance, and they will have to try later on to come out of the B main.
Tim Schaefer running Goodyear tires. Shots on Goodyear's last night. I'll tell you that what started out looked like it was going to be a good year for Hoosiers is fast becoming a good year for Goodyear's, especially on these high-speed racetracks.
Becoming a great year for Goodyear if they keep up these paces right here.
So I saw Carl Kinzer mounting a Goodyear also today after what happened last night, so I don't know what he had in his heat race, but they definitely were dominant in it also.
So there you see the 4 who have advanced, joining the others from heat race number 1. Downstairs, Danny Lasowski.
What are you asking me?
Bobby Gerald. We'll find out together what he's going to ask you.
That's right. Danny was wondering what we're going to ask him. We're going to ask you what's going on. I know that was a tough heat race, and you're in the B main now. How far behind the 8 ball does that put you?
Oh, that definitely puts us behind the 8 ball. But as you well know, all these guys racing with the World of Outlaws and top-notch equipment, and we did have a tough heat. Hey, we just got to run the B feature, try to get through, and work our way up in the A.
Are you at all concerned with everybody else out here and the guys that are already qualified for the dash, like Sammy Swindell?
Well, then, you know, those guys, hey, they deserved it. They were locked in last night. Right now, I think the Goodyear's got a little bit of advantage on us, but I think when the racetrack, if it'll just shine up a little bit, I think the Hoosiers will come back.
All right, Danny Lasowski will be in the B main, guys, and I think he's a pretty safe bet to transfer into the feature.
They would think so on paper, but in this business, you just never know, do you? That's why we're all here together on TNN. We're back to Bristol in a moment. Welcome back. The cars forming up for the 3rd of the O'Reilly Auto Parts heats here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. By the way, if you're a fan of Brian Paulus, you're wondering where he is. That is what happened to Brian at about 6 o'clock this evening, running by himself during hot laps, Brad.
Yeah, I don't know if something broke, but coming out of turn 2, the car just went straight in the wall, and you can see there the damage. That shows the speeds, the tremendous speeds at this place.
Now we are back live, and you see the work going on down there in the pit area as they try to rebuild the Verdelli Farms machine. Bobby Gerald, you went to the infield care center when they took Brian there. What's the story?
Well, we just talked again with members of his crew, and Sheila Bovin telling us that Brian, they are afraid, has suffered a fractured left hand or wrist. At this point, that is not exactly known, but it was a wicked hot laps crash that bent this chassis beyond belief. He had been taken to the hospital. He's at the hospital right now. Was also a little bit dizzy, and so that's the reason why they really wanted to take him in, give him a thorough looking at. But he was conscious, walking around under his own power, but we're afraid, again, earlier, that Brian, after the hot lap crash, has suffered a fractured wrist or hand. That'll keep him out for some time, guys.
Well, what you see there, they're taking this car apart, literally unbolting, and they'll probably leave it in a dumpster here. Everything that they can salvage, they'll put in the trailer. The rest they'll throw away.
Now, Brad, do these guys have the facility or the ability to magnaflux these parts to give them the type of scientific going through to see what is cracked, if anything?
Well, such as the steering box, they'll send it back, and yes, they'll tear it down, magnaflux it. As far as the engine, that depends on the particular engine builder, whether he magnafluxes or just replaces parts. That's a Kistler there, the throttle body we've talked about. You see the round air cleaner on it. Expected it to be very fast here tonight, but yeah, they'll just basically throw all this stuff away, and you know, we just hope Brian heals up quick and gets back going again.
Sure he will, as we get set now for heat number 3 here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. This is one that includes, again, some big names, including the King of the Outlaws. And Randy Hannigan, who ran so very well here a night ago.
Yeah, good run for him. You know, they struggled a little bit in really getting that thing dialed in.
And back to the 7X of Raymond Shank. So that is the field for this third heat.
Randy had Brooke Tatnall, the former driver of the 6 car, helping him last night. And Brooke said his payment was a sub sandwich. He asked for mayonnaise. He said, well, he'd have to work again tonight for the mayonnaise. So it's been a little tough on Brooke down there.
Out of turn number 2, now working on the back straightaway here at Bristol. The turns are banked 36 degrees. That is the asphalt configuration. The turns are down to 31 degrees, between 31 and 32 when they put the dirt down. They have tapered the corners just a bit. Nice outside slide by Delansky in that red 7.
Yeah, he wasn't intimidated, got a car underneath of him, and he still just drove around the outside and made the pass.
But the King chasing down Hannigan. And Hannigan, who was so very, very hot here a night ago, 7th place last night, marking his first top 10 finishes in 9 straight races now.
Boy, Schrader looking good, and Holbrook's car right there, putting a run on Delansky. Taking the short way around, getting by, but Delansky trying to battle back on the back straightaway.
Of course, put Schrader there in that inside car number 8. He won the 1999 Brad Doty All-Star Classic at Attica.
That's coming up on July 18th, paying it's the 13th annual, paying $13,000 to win at Attica. Again, July 18th, and I'm sure Butch will be there putting on a show as well as some of these guys.
Halfway through, Kinzer 0.4 of a second down to our race leader.
Closing a little bit there, as you can see. Looks like Randy's starting to get a little bit loose. See the back of the car hanging out just a little bit off the corner.
Here comes Kinzer for the lead. 3 laps to go, and Hannigan blocks him high.
Kinzer's car is working well, Eli. When he can run in on the bottom like that and stick there, he got to run on the top. Trying to get a run down off that banking. Look how good he sticks right around the bottom. Right there, puts a slide job on him, takes the lead.
And hangs on. Oftentimes, you'll see him continue sliding and opens it up like this. Here comes Hannigan right back, but he can't make it.
But again, right there was a good shot. You see Hannigan's car, the back of his car hanging out. He's getting looser and looser there. It's real sideways. Steve Kinzer's car running real straight.
White flag, half a lap to go. One last-ditch effort, not enough. Kinzer wins. Hannigan is second. There comes Delansky third. Who's going to be fourth? Danny Wood will come across the line in fourth with the Pepsi colors flying. So those 4 advance, while Gracie, Carlson, Shank, and Schrader will have to try with the B main.
Well, we talked about that, how busy that B main's going to be, and that's just the third heat race there.
So another Kinzer, a winner. No surprise here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. I like seeing these guys use the high banks. Obviously, this is the highest bank track that we see and that I've seen for the World of Outlaws. I love seeing them come charging down off the high side.
And you're going to see more of that as the track dries out, too. Last night they run a little bit lower because the track is a little stickier.
And again, only the top 4 advanced. Todd Gracie came close but could not make it in. So only Kinzer, Hannigan, Delansky, and Wood.
Todd Gracie running a Ford.
Automatically.
I'm sorry, Eli. Todd Gracie running a Ford, the only one in the field. He builds it himself, and pretty good for the Ford motor.
We're back with another O'Reilly heat in a moment. The Bristol Motor Speedway on a beautiful Saturday night, and a super crowd is on hand. Again, some 35 to 40,000 on hand, and they have come from everywhere. From, of course, throughout Tennessee and the Deep South. We've seen folks from the upper Midwest, folks from across the Mississippi. Everybody is here to see the Pennzoil World of Outlaws. Also here tonight, as last night, Lisa Chalenza.
Thanks, Eli. Well, I'm sitting here with some great fans. These guys drove all the way down from upstate New York. Now, I have Mike and Mark on this side with the Brad Doty for President sign. And then we have Lisa's Got Pop, which I thought was really sweet of them to put me on the sign, along with Brad Doty, who's, of course, one of our illustrious hosts. Now, you guys, how long did it take you to get here?
About 11 hours.
Now, I have Jason and Dan on this side, who also brought a sign. Now, you guys do this how many times a year?
Oh, we come down here 4 or 5 times a year to all the Cup races, and then, of course, see the World of Outlaws. And I can't think of a better way to spend a Saturday night than with the greatest show on dirt.
Now, Jason, you guys come here for Winston Cup, and you also come here for the sprint cars. Which one do you like better?
We love dirt racing. Dan and I have been racing midgets and sprint cars in New York State for about the last 12 years, and coming down here to see these guys run dirt is just awesome.
Are these guys faster?
Oh, absolutely faster. It's so wild to see them on the high banks here. There's nothing like it at any place else in this country.
All right. Very good. Well, of course, these are the greatest fans on dirt as well. Back to you, Eli.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you. I wonder what they want you to be president of.
Yeah, president of the Brad Doty fan club or what? I don't know.
I got to start referring to you as Your Honor or His Honor, or the Honorable Brad Doty. There you go.
I like the Totally Nuts New Yorkers for TNN. That was good.
Downstairs, another Kinzer winning his heat moments ago. Dave Archerbright is with the King.
Well, Steve Kinzer, last night was a little bit of a struggle for you, and you were mid-pack. Is tonight a better night shaping up?
Well, it's been a struggle for us all time. That's the best we felt, but we got a long way to go. We're just going to be starting way in the back, so I don't know. The track's actually going to get better. The bottom's going to slow down a little bit, where it allows you to pass a little bit on the top. So we'll just have to see what happens.
They just showed a sign that said Brad Doty for president. I like Steve Kinzer for president better, don't you?
Well, I just want to say hi to Stevie. I love you and miss you.
Back to you, Eli.
All right. Thanks a lot, fellas. As we get set to go, I tell you, the King's been around. He has done some great stuff over the years. Now the fourth of the O'Reilly Auto Parts heats. You say, who's Blake Feast? Blake is a second-generation driver who stood this place on its ear a night ago.
With a lot of borrowed pieces and parts. They borrowed almost from everybody in the pits to get this race car ready, and they were running good last night.
And you see Brad Furr, he was really no factor at all here a night ago. Kind of a surprise.
Yeah, it really is. They've running so well, and here he's qualified really bad to be, back this far in the heat race. So they're definitely struggling this weekend.
Yeah, the San Mina Eagle normally is a factor, but really not so much here this weekend. So there you see the field as we get set to form up with the final of our heat races. Again, the top 4 will advance into the A-Main.
Doesn't take be off by just a little bit, really shows up on these big high-speed racetracks.
Of course, Brad Furr was one of those who, as we said last night, had to use a provisional last year to make the field. There was a provisional there for the drivers coming out of the Gumout series, and he was able to use that. And some just have no trouble with the high banks. Others don't master it quite as well. Green flag is in the air. They're going to wave that one off.
Yeah.
You saw everyone was waiting. We were all watching down at the flag stand. You saw the teams just shuffling position as they came off the corner. And Roger Slack was very, very quick to grab the yellow. And we'll do this one again.
Yeah, that was a really ragged start. I don't know whether Billy Wilburn in the 0 car right there outside front row, I don't know whether his engine stumbled or he just didn't get on the gas very quick, but they were pretty ragged as they came down for the green.
If you're not familiar, there is a line across the racetrack right there in turn number 4, and you really have to hold your position until the leader of the event, or in this case the pole sitter, crosses that line. When he gets to that line, the green flag is going to be displayed, and until that happens, you really have to hold your position unless there's a catastrophic problem ahead of you.
Yeah, but they want the pole center and the outside car to be side by side when they get to that white line.
Side by side, nose to tail. That's what they tell them in the drivers' meeting prior to all the events. Green flag, they try it again, and this one's going to stand.
Much better start, but it still looked like Wilburn might have, his engine might have stumbled a little bit there. Feast's car just took off, got a nice jump.
There's Hodnett and the number 12. Slide job by Blaney in the 10. Feast, Wilburn, Hodnett, and Blaney, and that now swaps around for third. So give Dale Blaney third. Hodnett's not done, though, I don't believe. Let's wait and see. Thought he was lining him up for another pass, but he couldn't quite make it stick.
Well, Blaney's in that car. Dave Blaney designed this thing. Longer wheelbase, the engine's a lot further forward, and generally on a big high-speed racetrack, it's more controllable, keeps the front wheels on the ground a little better. He was caught up in a crash last night, but they were able to fix it. Didn't hurt the chassis much, so able to fix the same car, and they're back with it tonight.
Of course, Dale had that 6th place finish in Lebanon Valley, which is really the best he's done here in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, he does have one win earlier, but sometimes it's kind of hit and miss in this game of sprint car racing.
All the while, Feast continues to pull away, and that's why we're staying with those in the middle of the pack right here. Nobody is challenging Feast. Here's a good slide again for Blaney. He's not challenged Billy Wilburn. He's going to try it again. This is for second.
Oh, and you can see Dale get real loose and hang the back of the car out. Lost the ground. He just spun the tires there. Track is really starting to dry out.
And of course, the thinking also is, you know that if you don't make a mistake and if nothing breaks, you're in the A. Yeah, you'd like to start one spot closer. You'd like to pick up a position. Don't force the issue. As Blake Feast driving for Kenny Mulligan, not Ted Mulligan, but Kenny Mulligan, comes back off turn number 4. Checkered flag is in the air.
This guy doesn't have a lot of experience, Eli. It's another good run for him.
Feast, Wilburn, Blaney, Hodman in that order. So Laney, Furr, and Bennett. Bob Bennett unable to advance, but a solid run again for Feast, who won 3 races last year with the Interstate Racing Association. He ran up there in Michigan, in Hartford, Michigan, and he ran it in Wisconsin. I believe he was saying Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. He's run and won there, but you don't hear much about him. And look at the rented pieces. Still has that big tank from McMahon on the back.
Yep. They just had this smaller fuel tank on this big racetrack that used a lot more fuel, so they borrowed a tank. And they borrowed a lot of pieces. We said last night that they borrowed the engine. They actually do own the Mopar engine. Bought off Carl Kinzer. It was built by Gary Stanton, but they do have a lot of borrowed and begging, and everything goes on there to get that car ready.
Solid run for Feast, in only his 3rd year in sprint cars. He takes the win in the 4th heat. He raced mini sprints up through 1998. And again, the top 4 are the ones who advance: Feast, Wilburn, Blaney, and Hodnett. Coming back, more on TNN from the World of Outlaws in Bristol. We are back with about 40,000 of our closest friends: Eli Gold, Brad Doty, Dave Argabright, Bobby Gerald, Lisa Chilenza. Hey, folks, remember, if TNN's not here, you can go online at sprintcarnet.com. The gang over there has the 80 races on the World Wide Web. The webcast is easy to pick up. Just check it out. Sprintcarnet.com, an easy way to stay in touch with the Pennzoil World of Outlaws. There you see the Bristol Motor Speedway replete with dirt for the 2nd year in succession. Dave Argabright, it's quite a view and quite a run for Blake Feast, wasn't it?
Well, it is, Eli. 19-year-old kid from Seabrook, Illinois. Did I get that right? You know, you had quite a weekend. 2 heat race wins this weekend, but now you start 16th in the A. What do you expect to see in the feature?
A little more racing tonight. The track's dried off some, and we were going good pretty much around the top there and coming off through the middle, so we just kind of missed the setup a little in the A last night, and to be honest, I was a little nervous. So about 8 laps into it, I settled down and started doing what I should have been doing on lap 1, and we didn't get passed by anybody else. So hopefully if I can go out there and just block everybody out, not get a little intimidated and be right from the get-go, then hopefully we can move up through there.
Well, in case nobody's told you, that's called having your elbows up. And by the way, Brad, they borrowed a fuel tank, they borrowed the gears, they borrowed a water line. By the time they give everybody their stuff back, they're going to take their stuff home in a pickup truck. Eli?
Yep. One thing they haven't had to take tonight, though, is a mulligan. They've been right up there in front all evening long. Our congratulations to them. Hey, if you were with us last year, you might remember the night that Sammy Swindell here at Bristol in the 2000 season. And he had problems here last night. It's been that kind of a love-hate relationship for a Tennessee driver and this Tennessee racetrack. The Channel Lock team, Sammy Swindell and the Bristol Motor Speedway, they've been strange bedfellows over the last year or so. 1 year ago, remember this on the restart? Roger Slack throws the green, but Sammy was just too quick on that start. So quick that they put out the caution flag, and the World of Outlaw officials said, Sammy, give up your front row starting spot. We're putting you to row number 2. Well, certainly Sammy didn't like that, but it didn't slow him down any. In his heat, he passed Craig Delansky for the lead and went on to take the checkered flag. But that was just the start of the evening. He wanted to make sure that the officials got a good close-up look at the Channel Lock racer. Sammy took the beeline down the pit lane, then began to explain the intricacies of the World of Outlaw rulebook to the officials, to the delight, of course, of the crowd in his native Tennessee.
If the officials want to be consistently bad, that's fine. If they want to be consistently good, but you know, it's just like the NBA Finals. You need to have somebody make the same calls every week, or you know, during the whole event, and we don't have that.
Once the A-main came around, the Channel Lock car still quick. He blew right by the king, takes the checkered flag and the victory lap in front of the great crowd here and family at the Bristol Motor Speedway. But if you thought last year was bizarre, same thing happened last night. Again, Sammy gets repositioned. This time, he'll go behind Danny Lasowski. But going into the corner, he'll give the dude a bit of a chrome horn right there. And, of course, Lasowski takes offense to that, comes calling to the Channel Lock transporter down in the infield to try and say exactly what's your problem. And Sammy says, hey, what, do you want to be on TV or something? I got you on TV. Well, the conversation went on for a while in the privacy of the Channel Lock transporter before the TNN microphones came on the scene and the drivers talked to you directly.
He's a little nervous here. He don't like to go this fast anyway, so you know, if he can't handle it, you know, he needs to park it.
If that's what he said, huh? That's for you, Sammy. Then I'll tell you what, bottom line is he got caught for jumping. For some reason, he thought he was going to take it out on my car. Well, he's going to mess with the bull. He's going to get the horn, I can tell you that.
You gotta love it. Gotta love it. One thing that Sammy was able to tell us earlier today, he wanted to make sure that Amy's folks, that's his wife, were offered congratulations. Elmer and Shirley Gray celebrating their 50th anniversary today, and they're in Sammy's corner, you know that.
Congratulations to them. Yep. You can bet they're in his Sammy's corner.
How easy is it to get overdone with your emotions in a situation like that? Can it get carried away?
You really can. You can lose focus, and Sammy's his own setup man on this. He does the chassis work and everything. He's got to keep focused and not let his temper get the best of him. He has to keep focused and keep that race car fast all night.
Hey, folks, quick reminder about something that is wild, unpredictable, and downright raw. No, we're not talking about going out with Brad Doty to dinner. We're talking about experiencing the excitement of cable television's top-rated show. WWF Raw is War. Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific, right here on TNN. Well, it got a little raw when you tried to reach for the tab.
I'm not going there.
Everybody stopped and couldn't believe what they were seeing. We're back in a moment. Motor Speedway. Hey, folks, couple of weeks is our next telecast. You might want to jot it down. June 22nd, first time for TNN at the Eagle Nationals, Eagle Raceway in Nebraska. We're going to be going from the biggest track on the circuit to, I guess, one of the smallest, about, what, a third of a mile?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what an opposite. It's a high banked little bore. I mean, it fit in half the pits at this place.
So we're going to be there. We've got some other first-time stops coming up on the schedule for you. Hope you can join us on the 22nd. There you see Sammy Swindell. He is part of the Channel Lock Dash. And this will set the starting order for the top 10 drivers in the A-Main. This is your basic all-star shootout right here.
Of course, Donnie Schatz's the winner last night. I talked to Kenny Woodruff, his crew chief. Kenny Woodruff gave all the credit to Donnie Schatz. He said he was just driving that race car and put it on the top and won the race.
Final moments of warm-ups. Everybody forming up now for the 2-wide start. Here's Paul McMahon and Delansky. They'll be going shotgun on the field. We're live at the Bristol Motor Speedway, TNN Sports, with coverage of the Pennzoil World of Outlaws. The speeds, 165 miles an hour going into the corners here this evening, down about 3 miles an hour from a night ago.
Yeah, because of the track conditions, a little bit drier, a little bit less corner speed. So it's going to slow down the overall speed, or slipping and sliding a little bit more in the corners.
Well, again, we have onboard coverage with you on this race from Jeff Shepard. He'll be starting outside of row number 1. 4th place in Terre Haute. His best performance earlier in the month of May.
Talking to Guy Fortbrook, Jeff Shepard's crew chief, they felt they went a little bit soft on tires last night. They were good early and ended up running second. So they're going to have to watch the track. Definitely be going a little harder, I think, because the track conditions will want that anyway. So they're going to keep a good eye on that. Shot's not getting a very good start.
10 laps. Here we go. They're going to wave that one off. They did not like the start. We were all looking at that one as well, saying, will they allow that or won't they allow it? They're going to bring it back and start over again as Roger Slack waves the yellow hanky. Now, who doesn't go here? Was it the pole sitter who didn't go, or was it Schatz from the 3rd starting spot?
Well, well, I don't know. That's going to be a tough.
Let's take a look and see.
Yeah, Schatz is on the pole. He just didn't get going. Whether the motor stumbled, I really don't think that Shepard. Nope, Shepard.
Yeah.
Shepard didn't really get a big jump. It's just that Donnie didn't take off. Whether, like I said, the motor stumbled or he just thought that maybe Shepard had too much of a run, so he just stayed clear out of the throttle. Don't know for sure.
So Sammy Swindell now moving to the pole.
What a switch that is. Usually it's the other way around. Sammy getting put back. This time it's to his advantage.
And a good start that time. Shepard challenges to the outside.
Man, that was so close. Whew, Shepard tried to go between Sammy and the wall, and man, it didn't look like there was enough room. I think they might have touched wheels.
Riding with Shepard. That's a great view.
It really is. Shows how fast and how these cars just wiggle around, especially through the corners. You see that different line. Shepard right on the bottom and Sammy running around the top. Shepard's trying it again.
Sammy went way high. That time it's going to cost him. But he comes challenging right back in the channel lock machine.
Oh, Shepard's doing it, guy. Boy, some bold moves.
And remember, this race sets the starting lineup for the A. These guys are battling for that front row starting spot.
Yeah, but either way, they're both going to be on the front row. I mean, this is for bragging rights too. But either way, both of them are going to be on the front row. But Shepard pulling away. Sammy's gotten loose. I don't know whether that battle, he's heated his tires up.
Schaefer is going to start closing in shortly as we look from Shepard back the 7/10 of a second to Sammy Swindell. That's what 7/10 of a second looks like on this racetrack.
Well, those guys are, like I said, racing hard for the front row. I mean, it was just going to put one on the pole and one on the outside.
Chesson in the green 22.
Shots the surprise there after last night's dominance, coming from 10th to lead, falling back through the field.
White flag for Shepard. He is now pulling away. He's gone from 7/10 of a second up to 2.1 seconds. Swindell just fading big time. Shepard will start the A on the pole. Swindell second, Schaefer third, Chesson and Schatz coming across the line side by side. But man, Shepard just pouring the heat on the coals.
He really is, and you know, they're going to pull in the pits, and people are going to get down and look at those tires. I mean, they're obviously fast right now, but maybe that setup at the end of 30 laps won't be the fast way to go. And Schatz falling back like that. Maybe again their setup wasn't good on these short runs, but will be fine at the end of 30 laps. It's always a guessing game.
An impressive run for Jeff Shepard out of Maryland. Guy Forbrooks put together an imposing team. There you see the results, and again, as they finish this dash, is the way they will be starting the A main. Let's go downstairs to Victory Lane.
Jeff Shepard just asking us if he was able to pull away from Sammy Swindell out there on the racetrack. That was some hard racing out there for a dash. We don't see that often.
Yeah, I don't know. It must have been pretty good because we beat him. That's all I can say. I don't know. I mean, we must have been pretty good because I could just about go anywhere I wanted to go, and I felt great.
Once he took the lead from you, were you worried that he was going to get away?
No, because I kind of kept right there with him. I didn't think I'd get by him right there. I thought I was going to have to try to beat him off the corner here, but I guess he tried to get me back. I mean, everything's going great.
Now, you started this race on the outside of the front row. The feature, you're going to have to start on the inside. Is that a big difference?
I'm sure. We tried to start on the inside row last night. It wasn't real good for us. But I don't know. Who knows? Got 30 laps at hard racing, so we'll see what happens.
Jeff Shepard, your winner. He'll be starting on the pole, Eli.
And yes, he was pretty good. 2.8 seconds, the final margin of victory between Shepard and the always impressive Sammy Swindell. We are coming back. We've got the B main, and it is loaded with talents. It's coming up on TNN.
Can't make it to Nashville for fanfare?
We'll bring fanfare to you.
All next week, CMT takes you there with daily fanfare updates from the freshest new music news show on television. CMT Most Wanted Live.
It's live.
Plus celebrity softball and the TNN CMT Country Weekly Award Show.
The stars.
The concerts. All the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Anything could happen.
Fanfare Week. All next week, only on CMT, your official fanfare network.
The same passion and dedication that drive our racing programs also drive the way we create parts for high-performance vehicles and high-performing vehicles like yours. Mopar, great parts for great vehicles on the track and in your driveway. That's the Mopar difference.
I like this one. I like this one.
Green or blue?
Anything but beige.
Decisions, decisions.
I'm not afraid of color, I think.
At least one choice is easy.
Home Depot is the place for paint.
The paint is me.
She makes it easy, so she can make it gorgeous.
See? Nothing to be afraid of.
Here's your color match.
Wow.
My home is my masterpiece. Lots of color. That's why I went to Home Depot first.
The Home Depot, first in home improvement.
Oh, I don't know if this is such a good idea.
Come on, we only have a few more miles to go.
Oh, this don't feel right.
What if people treated you the way you treat your car?
Oh, suck it up. Let's go. Let's go.
At Pet Boys, we treat vehicles right with a wide selection of quality truck tires from just $54.99, 7 days a week.
Okay, it's feeling better.
Good.
It's numbing out.
That's normal.
All you need to know is where to go. Pet Boys.
To me, gardening is, it's life. It's just a miracle in nature. Early in the spring, I start. I feed them all through the summer and early fall with Miracle-Gro. It's quite simple. It only takes a few minutes every other week. You get good, vibrant color, good, strong stems, and it makes a big difference. Well, plants are like people. Just like we need to eat 3 times a day, plants need their food too. I feed the whole garden every other week with Miracle-Gro. It makes a tremendous difference.
At the Fast Family Reunion, there's fast cooking. Ouch! Fast fishing. And there's fast-acting Lanacane First Aid Spray for itch, pain, and infection. The fast-acting First Aid, Lanacane Spray.
Hi, Tom Bodette. When did you see the light?
We were staying with my cousin, and Duke here wasn't getting along with their cat, Fluffy. So I thought, hey, Motel 6 takes pets, and it's a great price.
Here's Fluffy now. Just kidding, boy. Call us and see the light for yourself.
TNN Sports coverage of the Channel Lock Challenge from the Bristol Motor Speedway is being brought to you by Mopar, parts for Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles from the dealerships that sell and install them. On a beautiful night here in the Volunteer State, TNN Sports with you at the Bristol Motor Speedway, and we got a ton of Pennzoil World of Outlaw fans on hand. Many of those folks were over at the drag strip earlier today. A most unusual race. A sprint car against an NHRA Pro Stocker. Take a look. The home of drag racing's Thunder Valley Nationals, Bristol Dragway, just across the parking lot from Bristol Motor Speedway. There are 2 fish out of water, Danny Lasowski and Dale Blaney, trying to see how their sprint cars will do in a quarter mile against some pro stock competitions. Drivers like Gene Wilson of the IHRA, Alan Johnson and Mike Thomas, they were on hand as well, all trying to outdo the sprint cars in the quarter mile. Now they have to go to those slick tires the sprint car racers do. They made some suspension changes, worked on the shocks. Everything else, though, burn out, let's go racing. Right, Danny?
It's all off the starting line with us. If we can hit a good light,
Good to go.
And good lights they were. Driving cars provided by the Blaney Driving School. This time around, the edge goes to the Pro Stocker.
Anytime you can get together with other racers from other sanctioning bodies, get to know them, hang out, it's a lot of fun.
Alan Johnson got that win, but in the final round when all was on the line, give the edge to Danny Lasowski, beating the other Mopar of Alan Johnson. Lasowski gets the win at Thunder Valley Dragway, Bristol, Tennessee, and takes home with him the hardware, putting the Pennzoil World of Outlaw drivers atop of the heap in drag racing. Well, the rolling start against the Christmas tree. Interesting. Hey, take a look. We heard an interesting comment before when Shepard won his heat. He said, was I pulling away? Why don't these cars have radio communication with the pits? Why don't they have mirrors so they can look behind them? I'm new to this business. What's the philosophy behind the lack of established technology?
To stop blocking. The World of Outlaws feel that other forms of racing that have mirrors and radios and such, that there's too much blocking going on. The World of Outlaws did run radios for a couple years, and they felt like the crews were telling them where their guy was behind them, and there was just too much blocking going on, so they've outlawed radios and mirrors for that reason.
Interesting. I didn't know the answer to that, but I found it interesting when the guy says, am I pulling away, and he's winning by 2.8 seconds. It'd be nice to know. Hey, folks, you can see the biggest stars in sports entertainment and get a behind-the-scenes look at what's going down in the World Wrestling Federation. WWF Superstars, that's tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern and Pacific, all coming up right here on TNN. When we come back, those guys will be going a whole heck of a lot faster. The B-Main is around the corner. 12 laps to fill the field for the A. That's next from Bristol.
TNN giving people what they want.
And what the people want is WWF.
TNN, powered by the people.
Oh, man! I like the storylines of the WWF. Rise War, only on TNN.
I like the excitement. I like the drama. It's just so cool. I like The Rock because I can sure smell what he's cooking. The WWF on TNN!
That's the place to be.
Get a grip on it. Tools that built the USA. Get a grip on it. Then you can be your best today. Yeah. When you grip on it.
When you need a grip on life's little challenges, get a grip on Channel Lock.
When you're a big-time racer, it's just fame, fortune, and fans. Pretty cool. Just like a new Luxair home comfort system. Top quality equipment that's backed by reliable service professionals. Designed to deliver high-efficiency performance for comfort and big-time savings for you. Call 1-800-LUXAIR for the dealer near you. Luxair, setting the performance standard.
As the field forms up for the B-Main here at the Channel Lock Challenge in Bristol, we head downstairs. Bobby Gerald is amongst the work down in the pits.
Guys, we saw something very interesting just a moment ago. After Jeff Shepard won the dash, the left rear tire that they had on, and this is not the one, this is the replacement, they put a piece of tape right over the index label so that none of the other drivers and teams could come down and find out what compound of left rear tire Shepard had. That was instructed by the crew chief, Guy Forbrook, to the crew members to put the tape on as soon as it rolled into victory lane there. They put the tape on and nobody else has any idea what they ran.
So as we take a look at the starting grid for the B-Main, it's not just that Goodyear brings one compound. You can use whatever you want.
Oh, yeah, different compounds and different constructions of tires, and they were so dominant that day, so they don't want anybody to know what they had on it.
Pretty good names right there. We'll see if Johnny Herrera can move up. See what Brad Furr might have for us here this evening. Jason Myers had climbed closer to the front earlier in his O'Reilly heat before backsliding just a bit. This will be 12 laps. The top four advance to the A-Main. Johnny Herrera has our cameras to give us the lift around the half-mile Bristol Motor Speedway. Jason Myers also with onboard cameras for your viewing pleasure.
These guys in the back, even Herrera there in the third row, they want to make something happen in a hurry on the first lap. It's the slowest lap of the race, so they want to try to make some quick passes and get it over with.
Here we go now as the field forms up. Once more, we'll remind you the top 4 move in. In there is Danny Lasowski in the mix, working on the back straightaway. Let's see if this will be a clean start. We've had, what, 2 aborted starts already here this evening. Everybody fires. And the green is in the air, and Butch Schrader with the challenge to the outside by Lasowski. Such different lines, Brad.
Yep, but you can see the cars hanging a little bit, getting loose off the corners there. They're going to start moving the wings back. They got the hydraulically activated wing. The driver can pull a lever and slide that top wing back. That just puts more air to the rear tires, more downforce to help plant the tires and stop the wheel spin.
Johnny Herrera trying to power around Gracie. Gracie's best performance this year, the 3rd at the season opener at Tri-City up there in Franklin, PA. There's problems on the racetrack. Caution is on the speedway. No, caution on the speedway. And we see the 6C of Crabtree with the problems bringing out the yellow. Keith Crabtree from West Jefferson, Ohio, is the man responsible for the yellow. So Crabtree, the Saturday night regular at KC Raceway in Chillicothe, Ohio, draws the yellow.
This is ordinary potting soil. This is Miracle Grow potting mix. What's the difference? Results. University tests prove that plants grown in Miracle Grow potting mix grow twice as big. That's because it's the only potting mix that combines a premium blend of rich organic ingredients with just the right amount of Miracle Grow plant food. Try Miracle Grow potting mix. The miracle is in the mix. And for flower beds and gardens, try Miracle Grow garden soil.
Apparently, some people don't know Dremel also makes cordless rotary tools. Dremel cordless rotary tools. This Father's Day, they're the perfect gift solution.
At the Fast Family Reunion, there's fast cooking. Ouch! Fast fishing. And there's fast-acting Lanacane First Aid Spray for itch, pain, and infection. The fast-acting First Aid, Lanacane Spray.
Track cleanup wrapping up after the caution, the first here in the B main. As the field gets set to go, Schrader, Lasowski, Gracie, Herrera, and Saldana, the top 5. Then Laney, Bennett, Myers, Furr, and Campbell. Brad Furr moving up nicely to 9th spot.
Yeah, got to report that Furr changed the engines. It just felt like it was down on horsepower. They qualified so bad. They changed an engine earlier in one of our shots. Saw Butch Schrader, the leader there in the 8 car. They also changed the motor. Theirs blew up, so they changed the motor. So a lot of engine changes going on tonight.
Johnny Herrera, he has run 8 times this year for Lonnie Parsons and Mike Thurman, getting himself set, all ready to go there in the number 6 machine. Casey's General Stores entry. They've been around as a sponsor. Johnny's been with them in the past, certainly.
Yep. Back when white 47 car. Now back with the 6 with the same sponsor.
Looking ahead, there will be 2 provisional starting spots available here later. For those of you who aren't familiar, we'll explain that as we go. The Pennzoil World of Outlaw regulars getting the first options on those provisional starting spots. Single file restart. Here we go. Lasowski, he's been the focus of much attention this weekend. Trying to drive his way into the A main.
Yeah, this is kind of a test session. It's as long as you get through this unscathed, it's kind of a test session to check the tires out and get the driver more comfortable to get the race car to where he wants it and try to get faster. And they're not going to try anything stupid. Lasowski's a veteran. Look at him moving around, went from the top to the bottom. He's just searching the racetrack to see where the fast line is.
Schrader, Lasowski, Herrera, and Gracie.
And you can see Lasowski moving around top to bottom. Schrader's doing a good job. That thing's hooked up pretty good. He's able to move around on the racetrack and stick about where he wants to.
Again, it's not quite as nerve-wracking in other forms of racing. You don't know exactly where the other guy is. Can you hear him? Can you sense that he's there?
Only when they get right on you. I mean, about right there, Butch could probably hear him a little bit, but as far as it is from the top to the bottom of this racetrack, when the guy's way up on the top and you're on the bottom, no, you can't hear him till the only way you can know they're there is when you see him.
There's the battle for the lead. Also, seconds ago, we showed you Jason Myers in that 20. He has moved from 10th to 6th. Everybody just waiting and watching to see if Lasowski tries to mount one bonsai attack on Butch Schrader here. Kicking up some major league dust here this evening.
One thing about Bristol, with all these grandstands around, there's no air to blow it out of here. It just kind of hovers because there's absolutely no wind. The flag in the infield's hanging straight down all day long because it's just all the grandstands block any chance of any wind getting in here.
Also one of the noisier tracks as far as ambiance is concerned, as the sound just bounces off the seats.
Boy, especially if you're in that infield with cars all going all the way around, it is very loud.
White flag is in the air. Schrader, Lasowski, Herrera, and Gracie, the top 4 right now, getting set to advance into the A-main. Checkered flag. Schrader, Lasowski. Here come the other transfers. Herrera, Saldana. Myers does not make it. So Butch Schrader, who was the quickest qualifier at Fremont when he took his very first race with Junior Holbrook, comes up. He has not had the best of successes on our TNN telecast. It's nice to see Butch doing well here tonight.
Yeah, and again, last year this track took a nasty crash. Crashed last night, but not nearly as hard and as bad as it was a year ago.
And Saldana just did steal that final transfer spot.
Yeah, Todd Gracie was running 4th again in that Ford motor. He's kind of behind. He doesn't have anybody to compare to and builds those engines. Something happened the last few laps. He fell back to 6th, put him out of the show.
So there they are, Schrader, Lasowski, Herrera, Saldana. They will advance to the A-main. And for the likes of others like Furr and Goodman and Campbell and Sides, their night is over. Yet to come, 30 laps for the A-main. But the dude now getting himself unhooked from all of his safety paraphernalia. What is he now, Bobby? Is he the bull or the dude? What are we supposed to call him?
We'll find out. You know, the catfish has been part of the name too. So now the guys up in the booth want to know, are you the bull, are you the dude, or are you the catfish?
I think we're combined all of tonight. No telling what we're going to have. It's a real good racetrack night. You can run top, bottom, all over the place. So wherever you hit the right lines.
The bullfish dude. So you were right on top of Schrader there, coming down the straightaway. It looked like you actually had to check up a few times going into 1.
Yeah, it really did. He was definitely running the right line. I could run over him down the straightaway, but when he takes a shorter way around, that's the way to be.
Now, coming from the rear of the field here in the feature event, you've got your work cut out for you. Realistically, what would you be happy with tonight, Danny?
Well, anywhere in the top 10, we'd be relatively happy because it's real tough to pass, but we'll see how things go.
All right, that's your Mr. Consistency right there. He has only fallen out of 3 races this year, guys, outside of the top 10. Only 1 DNF, 3 times outside of the top 10. All the rest inside the top 10.
Bullfish dude. Probably need to call him that by the full name and not call him any one. Keep everybody happy. We're back in a moment.
This is ordinary potting soil. This is Miracle Grow potting mix. What's the difference? Results. University tests prove that plants grown in Miracle-Gro potting mix grow twice as big. That's because it's the only potting mix that combines a premium blend of rich organic ingredients with just the right amount of Miracle-Gro plant food. Try Miracle-Gro potting mix. The miracle is in the mix. And for flower beds and gardens, try Miracle-Gro garden soil.
We got a kick out of Texas. The line dancing.
The Roundup.
Boot Hill.
The Watering Holes.
Riding tall in the saddle.
We even learned to speak the language.
Yeehaw!
Even the vacations are bigger in Texas, so we'll give you a free Texas State Travel Guide, Accommodations Guide, and Texas Highway Map when you call 1-800-8888-TEX, extension 65, or visit us at TravelTex.com. You'll get the insider's view of Texas, what to see, what to do, where to stay. Free when you call 1-800-8888-TEX, extension 65. So give us a call, y'all. Texas, it's more than you think. It's like a whole other country.
Are you challenging me, Mr. Wallace? It is a melancholy truth. You will hear the Kipling. Come on, Professor. Get out.
God, you're such a good kid. They always let you get so far before they take everything away from you.
A kid with a gift will find the one person who can give him a chance.
Perhaps you'll find a way to amaze even me.
From the director of Good Will Hunting.
You're the man now, dog.
Finding Forrester, rated PG-13.
Hey, buddy. Let's order a movie.
Yeah. You love movies, and we love bringing them to you. At the touch of a button, Dish on Demand brings you a great selection of the movies of our time. Thrills, action, romance, and comedy. Simple, affordable, family fun. Share the experience. Tonight, pick up your remote instead of your car keys. Order a pay-per-view movie from Dish on Demand.
Great crowd with us here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Dancing to the beat of dirt track racing at its best. Go ahead, you're with us. Eli Gold, Brad Doty, Dave Argabright, Bobby Gerald, and Lisa Chalenza here in Bristol. Check out these highlights. I'm telling you, that's just some of the action you see at the Pennzoil World of Outlaws. And there are the standings current to the moment for the Rat Bag Cup. The top 10 finishers in last year's points eligible for the Rat Bag Cup. The driver who gets the most points in all of the TNN races this year earns a $25,000 bonus of the $120,000 that are on the line from the folks at Rat Bag. So we'll keep updating you on those numbers through 6 of the 16 races.
After watching all those crashes, I can see why the Bass Pro Orlando Wilson said today that he wouldn't get out of an electric chair to drive a sprint car, and I can see why, all those crashes and stuff. It's not always that bad.
There you see the Bristol Motor Speedway, where fans have come from everywhere to watch the Channel Lock Challenge. Lisa Chalenza is down there in the grandstand. Who are you with, Lisa?
Thanks, Eli. Well, I'm here with a bunch of lovely ladies, along with, I think, the entire Pennsylvania Posse fan club up behind us. I'm here with Nikki and Jonda. And tell me exactly where you came from.
We came from Pennsylvania, New Oxford, where they're racing at Lincoln Speedway tonight. And Williams Grove, Central Pennsylvania Posse, Fred Raymer, Steve Siegel, Greg Hodden, who's here tonight. Yeah. All those guys are our guys.
And also, Jeff Shepard is one of their favorite racers. What do you like about him?
Well, he's our good friend, but he is such a hottie. So
He's a hottie again. I think that it's just going to catch on nationally, and we're going to have a slogan, Jeff Shepard's a hottie.
New t-shirt, the Jeff Shepard is a hottie.
So there you have it. I think it's unanimous. Back to you, Eli.
Now, what happened? I remember at the Grove.
Don't go there.
It was Hottie Doty at the Grove. What is it?
Shepard's beat me out on that one, I guess.
We'll have to negotiate.
That's okay. He can have it.
Let's go downstairs. Here's Hottie Argabright.
Well, thank you very much, Eli. Couldn't agree more. Sammy Swindell here with me. Your crew just made a gear change. How close are you to the setup that you want for this racetrack?
Well, I think we're pretty close. We were just a little bit off with the tires there, and you know, from what we had, I think it'd be better for the second stint here for the longer run and stuff. We'll be all right. We just went a little bit too soft and kind of tore the tires up there the first half. It was good for about 3 laps, and this channel lock fan still stealth. It just slowed down a little bit and let Jeff get in there, but we're in the place where we want to be to start, so hopefully we can get out there and lead every lap.
Starting on the outside's a decided advantage tonight, I think. By the way, want to wish Sammy's in-laws, Elmer and Shirley Gray, back in Memphis, a happy 50th anniversary. If you might have already touched on that, Eli, but that's a big, momentous occasion, 50 years.
It sure is. So I wished them 50. You wished them 50. This is their 100th anniversary. What a landmark moment that is. Let's check in downstairs with Bobby Gerald. Bobby.
Hey guys, I've got to show you something. You know that you have arrived when you have your own water. Look at that, Donnie Schatz Motorsports water. That's amazing, Donnie. Is that just after last night's win they rushed out and made those?
No, it's something that a company back home has been working on for a while. It's just a bottle of water with my name on it. It's nothing special. We just one more thing to sell.
It'll be on eBay though tomorrow, I'm sure. They'll be selling for about $5 a bottle. Let's talk about tonight's feature event in the dash. You ended up coming home 5th after the restart that set you back, and so now you're starting inside of the 3rd row. Can you get it done from there?
Yeah, I can't start from the front row and win a race. I mean, that's pretty well proven. I proved that before. You know, we're pretty good. We just got set back on the start. I don't know what I did wrong, but I obviously did something wrong to get put back a row. And, you know, we got a little stumble in the motor. It's a different motor we run last night, and these guys are working awful hard here trying to get that out of there. It's something in the fuel. We just don't have our fuel quite right, and we're working on it. We'll get the right tires on for the feature here, and we're going to go out there and win this.
Hey guys, you're going to go out there and win it. Just simple as that.
Well, I wish it was that simple, but I'm going to give her my best. And with what we did last night and what we learned last night, we just got our motor a lot faster, and we'll be all right.
Donnie Schatz has his confidence up, Eli.
He has a little Dakota drink going there. You see they were working on the timing of the car.
Yep, that proves Donnie Schatz is a hands-on driver. He had the timing light going, and Kenny Woodruff was turning the magneto, readjusting the timing.
When we come back, it's time for the A-Main. All the talking will stop. The green flag will drop when we return to the Bristol Motor Speedway.
Hi, Billy. It's Jill Arrington calling you back from TNN.
Yeah, right.
Hi, is this Stephen from Connecticut? Stu from Miami. This is Simon from San Jose. Jason from Iowa. Thanks for calling TNN. This is Jill Arrington.
Wow, I can't believe you're returning my call. It's amazing.
Wait, haven't I called this guy? Charles from Arkansas. This is Jill Arrington.
Get out of here.
It's really me.
This is great. I just can't believe you called back.
Next on the list. Is this Steve from Tampa?
This is.
Hi, it's Jill Arrington.
Mopar. Great parts for these vehicles and yours. That's the Mopar difference.
Get a grip on it. Tools that built the USA. Get a grip on it. Then you can be your best today. Yeah. When you grip on it.
When you need a grip on life's little challenges, get a grip on Channel Lock.
I wrote my first book, Growing Good Roses, in 1986.
My intent was to help people not make the same mistakes that I made. Roses are hungry little critters, and they want regular food over the course of the entire growing season. I feed with Miracle Grow every other week. I get blossoms with deep color and fine foliage. It's just the kind of food that they want. What you're seeing now is really a hobby gone bananas. Just feed with Miracle Grow every other week.
How much PC can $849 get you? More PC than we can tell you about in 30 seconds. A super-fast Intel Pentium 3 processor, CD-ROM, accelerated graphics, pro-quality audio system, monitor, one-touch internet access, lots of memory, plus 5 color choices, red, green, blue, purple, and orange. And that's just for starters. The compact Presario 5000T. Let us build one for you. Call toll-free 1-888-252-0535 for all this, and we'll double your memory for free. Hey, do I have time to mention the...
Promotional consideration has been provided for this special offer from Diamond Pete. If you like gritty in-your-face excitement, then you've got to have Sling and Dirt, the newest World of Outlaws action-packed home video. Call 1-800-428-6993 to get wheel-to-wheel action and the best tumbles, stumbles, and crashes. Dirt's flying as the Wing Warriors push it to the limit and beyond. Call 1-800-428-6993 to own Sling and Dirt for only $14.95. There's never been so much outlaw action, so call and order your copy now. That's Sling and Dirt. Call now or order online at DiamondPeteSports.com, your interactive pit pass.
Back with you now at the Bristol Motor Speedway, Bristol, Tennessee. The field forming up for the A-Main. Hey, you gotta like that hat right there. I love these sprint car fans. Man, they take this stuff very, very seriously. No doubt about it. Here's now a look at the Mopar starting grid for the A-Main. Mopar, Hartford, Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles from the dealerships that sell and install them. So who do you like? Shepard, Swindell. Hey, Schaefer's been real quick all night long. Can one of these guys come from the back? Can Mark Kinzer make it to the front from row number 9?
Well, he is a long way back, isn't he?
He really is. We've got all 4 of our onboard cameras giving you the rides around the Bristol Motor Speedway in the A-Main. Shepard, Hillenberg, Herrera, and Myers will all give us those onboard views.
Also Saul Lasowski way back there, so Mark Kinzer and Danny Lasowski, the two at the top of the point board, they're just going to take what they can get, probably not try to force the issue and just come home with this thing in one piece and salvage what they can get.
Getting set for the 4 wide, our historian up here in the booth, Kevin Eckert from Flat Out Magazine, quick to remind me that Sammy Swindell once tapped the state of Tennessee for $65,000 by winning the Fram Dash that closed the 1990 season in Memphis at Motorsports Park. So as the fireworks go off, Kevin reminds me another big win, big money win wouldn't be without precedent for Sammy Swindell here.
Sammy's fired up, as we've talked about it all along, and he would obviously like nothing better than to put this thing away and just drive away and dominate. But there's a lot of guys right there behind him that's going to try their best not to let that happen.
Andy Hillenberg giving us that view of the 4 wide salute to the fans. Jeff Shepard has that view from up front. Johnny Herrera giving us a view as well, starting inside the next to the last row. And Jason Myers, who by virtue of the provisional starting spot will be going shotgun on the field. And his best hope for this was what? Just to show well and pick up whatever points he can.
Yeah, the same thing. You just try to make something happen early, but don't get yourself in too much trouble. But just hang in there and take what you can get. And if there would be possibly a red flag where you can work on the chassis, if the car's not right, that's the time to try to fix it.
What's the farthest back you won from? Do you remember offhand?
I remember when I should have won. I started 18th and was leading it and broke with a couple laps to go after starting that far back. But well, I don't know other than that how far back I have won from. But that was I do remember that one of not winning.
You always remember the ones that did get away.
I do. I remember the disappointments a lot more than any of the wins.
Well, it's a great field of race cars. We're so happy you're with us here on TNN Sports. Don't forget, in 2 weeks, we'll be with you from the Eagle Nationals at Nebraska. That's June 22nd. But now, time to put the capper on the Channel Lock Challenge.
Oh, man, look at that. Guys slapping their tanks back there. They're about banging wheels.
Here's the challenge up front, Swindell and Shepard.
Sammy moving down, going into 3 to keep Shepard from putting a slide job on him.
This is 30 laps, and we're working lap number 2.
Look how much Shepard gains on him. He's going to lose it all. Coming right back there. Sammy with the momentum on the top.
He just guns it on the straightaway. Shepard closing into the turn.
Actually, the guys up front probably running wide open. At this point, they're probably able to run with the throttle wide open, maybe riding the brake pedal. Not really lifting off the gas, just riding the brake pedal into the corners a little bit to get the car to what we call set, to get it to turn, entering the corner.
They don't have to burp it at all, huh?
No, not unless there's something in front. Now, Sammy did there a little bit because he got up kind of high and got the right rear up in the loose stuff. Sure, he breathed a little bit there, but generally on these high-speed deals, they can just ride the brake, and if they do get off the throttle, it's just slightly. Again, Jeff Shepard gains a bunch getting in, but Sammy with that momentum around the outside.
Quick Steve Kinzer look. There he is. The King has moved up to 13th spot now after starting in 19th. And he picks up another position, moving around Hodnett for 12th. Meanwhile, up front again, Swindell trying to repeat his Channel Lock Challenge win of a year ago. But Shepard has some other thoughts.
What Shepard's going to have to be careful of is not overheat his tires. Sammy's up there running a nice straight line, running the groove he wants. Jeff running the bottom like that, sliding up across the middle, is abusing his tires a little more, putting a lot more heat in his tires.
They're also dealing with some of the lap traffic right now. Moving around Brad Furr, you saw in that red number 2 on the low side of the racetrack.
That's not to say Jeff Shepard in second do anything wrong. Obviously, you're trying to pass, you're trying to do what you need to do to win, but he will hit his tires a lot harder running the bottom like that and sliding up across the top.
From Jeff Shepard's view, you see the dust really being kicked up now on a very dry racetrack. Has been all night. How in the world do these guys see?
Generally, it's not as bad from the drivers as what it is for the stand, because the drivers, it's kind of down low. The dust rises up, and I mean, it looks bad from the shot off the back of the car there, but generally it's not that. Now, there are times it is bad, but I don't think tonight it's too bad for these drivers.
Working around the 83, putting a lap on Saldana. Still the battle for the lead is a dandy. Still riding with Shepard.
And he must have got him.
He's going to make the move, and here comes the slide move again from Sammy. He had him for a second.
What happened there? Shepard slid up in front of Sammy, and Sammy must have turned it and drove right back underneath him on the bottom. Now you see Sammy moving to the bottom. See, he doesn't want Shepard to do that again. Look at Sammy running sideways right there. Lost a lot of momentum. Shepard passed him down the back straight. You can see Sammy get the car sideways.
And folks, look who's coming in behind them. Here comes Donnie Schatz. Here comes Schatz. And here comes Schaefer. Also closing in. And caution is on the speedway. There's Greg Hodnett. He has some problems bringing out the caution from Roger Slack. So 13 laps in the books, and caution on the speedway as we near the halfway point. Boy, oh boy, Donnie Schatz was closing in a hurry.
Shame to see that yellow, because it was going to get to be an excellent race, right? I mean, it still is going to be, but those three were going to battle here just another lap or two.
When we come back, the continuation of the A-Main. The Channel Lock Challenge in Bristol is under caution.
Movies of all time on TNN. Star Trek: The Motion Picture. This is David from Scottsdale. Watch Star Trek: The Motion Picture Monday, June 18th at 11.
It takes a special event for some guys to get rid of their gray hair. But for other guys, every day of their life is special. And they live it with Just for Men. More than a hair color, it's a hair rejuvenator. Just for Men gets rid of gray in 5 easy minutes. Its vitamin-enriched formula brings back a thicker, healthier, natural look. Every day of your life is special. Live it with Just for Men.
In my job, no matter what happens, the show must go on. So I took control with Depend Protective Underwear, the closest thing to regular underwear out there. Now a new super absorbent with the Depend Protection I trust. All I have to worry about now is hitting the high notes. Take control with new Depend.
My George Foreman grill, America's favorite grilling machine, is #1 on everybody's list. It's the grill for moms, dads, grads, and even brides. It's great for the whole family. And just in time for summer grilling, I've made them 30% bigger. So get ready to grill all of your favorites. Fish, chicken, juicy steaks, and don't forget the veggies. You'll find just the right size George Foreman Lean Mean fat-reducing grilling machine for your family at leading stores nationwide. It's a real knockout package.
How much PC can $849 get you? More PC than we can tell you about in 30 seconds. A super-fast Intel Pentium 3 processor, CD-ROM, accelerated graphics, pro-quality audio system, monitor, one-touch internet access, lots of memory, plus 5 color choices, red, green, blue, purple, and orange. And that's just for starters. The compact Presario 5000T. Let us build one for you. Call toll-free 1-888-252-0535 for all this, and we'll double your memory for free. Hey, do I have time to mention the...
What a guy, what a guy.
Guy Forbrook, the crew chief and owner of the 5-car leading right now. Sure, he's more than just a little nervous.
Shepard's only win in the 2001 season was that preliminary at the I-80 Speedway in the Cornhusker state of Nebraska. So this would be a huge, huge win if he can hang on here in Sammy Swindell's own backyard.
I'm sure Guy's sitting there thinking if he can just get a nice restart and run that car as straight as he can possibly race it and try to save those tires, not overheat them, bring this thing home. But there's a lot of laps left.
There are. The scoring reverts back to 12 laps complete. The caution came out during lap number 13. So 12 complete. And here we go. Roger Slack with the green. And we'll ride with Jeff Shepard on the start.
You could tell he went to the bottom of the track not knowing where Sammy Swindell was at. He didn't want Sammy to put that slide job on him. Shepard looked real good at this point. Now Sammy, boy, it's reversed. Sammy kind of running all over the racetrack trying to find a line. Shots falling back just a little bit. Oh, boy, that's going to be close.
Going to be close here at the stripe as they go by Billy Wilburn's car. You saw Billy slowing on the racetrack. And we'll tell you, Steve Kinzer is all the way up to 8th now, folks, as Shepard and Swindell continue their battle for the lead.
I tell you, Shepard was a real gentleman there. He left Sammy enough room on the outside of the back straightaway. Gave Sammy room to get a run on him down the back straightaway, and Sammy still couldn't get it done.
Just cheering his driver on. Shepard with Guy Forbrook. Looking on, here comes Swindell again. Can't quite jump on it to get the pass.
Shepard going in low, coming out high, trying to put a block on Sammy.
And you notice there's nobody behind them. They've now pulled away by 2 seconds from Schaefer.
Well, who that hurt was Donnie Schatz, because he was really coming. I think he was up to 3rd. He was really coming before that yellow came out. Whether his tires sealed over, just cooled off enough. What happened, I don't know, but he's out of the picture right now.
One of the unique factors here at Bristol, this is such a big racetrack as far as height is concerned. The lights are so high that it really amplifies the dust that's flying around here. As you see the battle for the lead, still Shepard and Swindell.
Man, they were so close coming out of that corner.
Closing in on Hodnett and others as they've caught the tail end of the field yet again. 10 laps to go in the A-Main.
For those new to the sport, these open wheel cars, if they just touch wheels at these speeds, it's disastrous. These cars will start flipping. Running up over each other's wheels is not the thing you want to do.
No, they'll come down somewhere near Kingsport if they touch. Meanwhile, watch Johnny Herrera. Look at the sawing he's having to do on that steering wheel.
We've talked about it before. Power steering in these cars, but it's still not.
And caution. That's going to be the 3 of Feast We talked so much earlier in the show about the fine run that we saw from that young driver. And unfortunately, Blake Feast from Saybrook, Illinois, finds himself taking a mulligan with the second caution of the evening.
Looks like he might have just spun out or something. From this side, I don't see any real damage to the car.
Going with those Hoosier tires, as you see.
Looks like it was rolling back there.
So with that spin by Feast, we're going to break away. Shepard still leads Swindell. 8 laps to go.
When you need a grip on life's little challenges, get a grip on Channel Lock.
Presenting the unshakable confidence of the best holding C-Bond denture adhesive ever. New C-Bond denture adhesive. A unique comfort-thin seal with 3 powerful adhesives holds your dentures comfortably all day. C-Bond. No ooze, no mess like creams. Easy cleanup. The best holding C-Bond ever.
This ordinary-looking bed is the key to a restful night's sleep. Even though it may look like an ordinary mattress, it's more comfortable than you could ever imagine. Introducing the Nautilus Sleep System. Nautilus uses variable support chambers designed to let you control the comfort on your side of the bed. Individual remote controls allow you to increase or decrease the firmness on your side of the bed, so you can have that feather soft feel and your spouse can get the extra firm support he or she has always wanted. Available features like a luxurious cashmere blend pillow top and our unique comfort layer make Nautilus the choice for a great night's sleep. It's time you feel the instant comfort of Nautilus with no money down and payments as low as $25 per month. Try Nautilus in your home. We guarantee the best sleep you've had in years. If you're not completely satisfied within 12 weeks, return it for a full refund of the purchase price. Call now for your free video and brochure. Discover instant comfort with the Nautilus Sleep System.
Welcome back, everybody. I mean, there is so much racing going on, but you guys at home would shoot us if we got off the lead. But let's set it for you. Shepard, Swindell, Schaefer. Schatz is in 4th. Pittman is 5th. Delansky 6th. Steve Kinzer is up to 7th now from 19th starting spot. Then you've got Chesson, Blaney, and McMahon, your top 10. Mark Kinzer mired back in 19th position. Green flag with 8 laps to go.
The red car you saw on the screen in 3rd, that's the lap car of Hodnet. Schaefer got kind of caught up behind him, was not allowed to pass till they got by the cone, so he had to wait what seemed like eternity to him, I'm sure, before he could make a move. Oh boy, Shepard doesn't want to do that too much. He's sliding up across, he scrubbed a bunch of
Sammy, and Swindell slides for the lead. But coming right back is Shepard to the inside, not enough.
Shepard went in low and sliding up across the banking like that, killed his momentum, and Sammy was able to get by.
Shepard from Maryland, Swindell from right here in Tennessee.
Oh man, they about hit again.
Lanes. Just about touching again with 5 to go.
Yeah, boy, he had to really get on the brakes there. Shepard really had to get on the brakes. Sammy come up in beside him, and you could see the car drop. The nose dropped on the front end. He had to stab the brake a little bit getting in the corner.
And folks, though he's not going to win it, Steve Kinzer is up to 4th. He's running behind these guys by a goodly distance, but we just need to keep you up to date on that. He's now in 4th. This was that heavyweight bout that we promised when we signed on the air way back at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Just happens to be 2 different combatants, as neither Lasowski at this point nor Swindell going head-to-head, but indeed Swindell and Shepard.
Shepard's getting loose. I don't know. We talked about the tires being hot and stuff. It's almost like he needs to stay around the top possibly, and try to get back on the back bumper, Sammy, before he tries a slide job. Only a couple laps to go, as you see there. He's running out of time.
White flag for Sammy Swindell. Trying to back up his win, and he nearly loses it going through the corner. With the Channel Lock colors emblazoned on his race car. He won here last year. He backs it up in 2001. Celebration on the Channel Lock rig. Amy and everybody celebrating Swindell's victory. Shepard, a game effort to finish second. Schaefer third. Steve Kinzer comes across the line in fourth, and Donnie Schatz 4.5 seconds back will finish in fifth. So tonight it is the Matador who slays the bull. Swindell, the Matador, going to victory lane. Lasowski with horns at the ready. No factor. He finishes 12th.
I tell you, Steve Kinzer coming from, what, 17th or something up to 4th. What a run for him. Trying to gain those points on those leaders, Mark Kinzer and Lasowski.
Folks, hope you enjoyed it. I know we did. We'll hear from the winner in just a moment. What a race here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. From Cordova, Tennessee, Sammy Swindell pulls down the win.
And I'm sure Sammy's thinking right now, take that, everybody.
Uh-huh.
That's Sam Swindell, his dad right there on Sammy's left. His wife, Amy.
There you go.
That's about as much emotion as I've ever seen out of Sammy Swindell.
Just going to say that. You don't see that kind of emotion out of Sammy Swindell.
Well, he's been fired up all weekend, and he's wanting to rub this one in.
I'm telling you, he's even smiling. It was not, however, without a little controversy. I mean, last year and again this year.
Maybe that's what he needs to motivate himself. Maybe he plans on some of this to get fired up. And that's his wife, Amy, right there, giving him a hug.
And Wayne Estes handling the public address here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, the track's director of public relations. The other gentleman you saw there on the scene.
Holding the plaque with the Channel Lock flyers on it.
Yep. Sammy's got a few of those at home. Both the plaques and the Channel Locks. So the celebration continues. Sammy's stealth maintained by Nebraska's Glenn Stewart, Ohio's Billy Daugherty. They're all winners tonight here in Bristol. Coverage of the Channel Lock Challenge from the Bristol Motor Speedway is being brought to you by Mopar, parts for Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles from the dealerships that sell and install them. From the Bristol Motor Speedway, it is all over. The Channel Lock Challenge won, appropriately enough, by the Channel Lock team, though not without more than their share of controversy, Brad.
Well, like I said a few minutes ago, maybe that's what Sammy needs to keep himself fired up and come in here and win these races.
Some solid runs. Darren Pittman had himself a pretty good evening. Very quiet, but a solid 11th place run.
Yeah, and Lasowski up to 12th right there, so salvaged a pretty good. He wanted to get to top 10. That's real close.
And there you see all the way back towards Blake Feast, who had himself a good night until the A-Main. Billy Wilburn slowed on the racetrack, comes home in 25th. Now it's time to recognize tonight's cool move of the race, presented by Luxair, the official heating and air conditioning supplier to the World of Outlaws. The coolest driving performance during the hottest part of the race, sponsored by Luxair, setting the performance standard. And that's all she took right there for Swindell to get the lead.
Got that draft as Shepard talked about. Shepard got a little bit loose coming out of 2, and Sammy put the move on him and drove by him into 3.
Right now we go downstairs, victory lane. Dave Argabright with Sammy Swindell.
Sammy, outstanding win, hard-fought win. You know, you come here 2 years in a row and you win. Just a tinge of controversy. Is that an extra motivation for you?
No, we can do without that. You know, they kind of bring that on. You know, but it doesn't matter. We're sitting here at the end with this Channel Lock fan still stealth, you know, so had a great run, and that was a lot of fun. You know, we rode motorcycles today with Jeff Shepard through the mountains, and we were on the Boss Hoss bikes, and he had to run the Screaming Eagle, so he had to run last all day. So need to let him lead a little bit, but we just want to be out front there at the end, and the whole Channel Lock team did a great job, and we were able to pull it off again, you know, be there at the end.
You know, it's a great win, and I know how excited you are, but when you've spent the day with a friend like that and you beat him this close of a race, does your heart go out to him just a little bit?
No, no, that was fun. As you know, if he'd beat me, that'd have been fine. But you know, when you got respect and you can race with somebody that close, that long, that's a lot of fun. So we'll get back out here in a couple weeks, and maybe I'll let him run out front on the bike for a bit. But we had a great time. It was a lot of fun, and everything went good. The whole crew, everybody did a great job. Had an awesome racetrack, and it's a great time.
He's got a big smile, Eli. A happy winner here in Victory Lane.
Indeed. Letting the guy lead on the country roads is one thing. Letting them lead on the racetrack, totally different. And the man, of course, who comes home in second spot, now standing by with Bobby Gerald. Bobby?
Second place finisher Jeff Shepard. Jeff, that was a heck of a race. Now, are you content with this? Or I know you want to be out there.
Absolutely not. I mean, it was just too close. I mean, it was a lot of fun racing, but I didn't win. I just understood I didn't win.
With about 3 or 4 laps to go in turns 1 and 2, you got real loose, drifted up the track. Was that the difference?
Well, yeah. I mean, we got close a whole bunch of times. It's a lot of fun racing like that, not touching. I mean, he kind of put a little move on me getting into one, and it just took the air off the front of my car and made me slide high. And this deal here, you can draft here. It's just like Winston Cup racing. You get him behind the draft. I did it. That's how I slingshotted by him a couple times in 3. I get him down the back chute. He'd pull me about 300 RPMs faster and just dive right by him. It's a lot of fun, but damn it. This is not good. This isn't good.
Well, it is pretty good, though.
How are you supposed to keep sponsors and have everybody be happy with you when you don't win? Oh.
You got to love the energy that Jeff Shepard brings to a racetrack. Eli.
All right, Bobby, very animated, but as you can tell, the man wants to win, and he'll have his shares. There you see the top 5 in the Pennzoil World of Outlaws standings. Mark Kinzer back there in 17th finishing spot, so he will lose a bit in his margin to Lasowski. Meanwhile, downstairs, Bobby Gerald is with Mr. Bull Dude Catfish. What'd you call him before?
The Bullfish Dude. That's the guy. Well, hey, the Bullfish Dude had a good run. 22nd up to 12th, a good night's work for you. Are you satisfied with it?
Well, we never satisfied running 12th, but we dug ourselves a hole qualifying bad as we did, and we made it to 12th, and we'll take that and go on to the next racetrack.
Nice job. He was a winner, though, already today. He was out there messing around with those drag cars earlier and got himself a trophy. Eli?
All right, so our congratulations. A great effort overall to Danny Lasowski. Folks, remember, throughout the course of the season, you can go online to sprintcarnet.com. Live audio webcasts of the Pennzoil World of Outlaws races. The gang will be covering over 80 events for you this year. So if TNN is not there, log on to sprintcarnet.com for coverage of the World of Outlaws. Brad Doty, it's everything you told me it was going to be. I've been coming to Bristol since 1976. My first time on the dirt. Quite a show.
This place has surprised me, as big as it is and stuff, and we've had great racing. I think this was even better than last year.
That's going to do it. Next time we're together is the 22nd of June. We'll be with you from the Eagle Nationals, Eagle Raceway in Nebraska. That is upcoming next for the Pennzoil World of Outlaws. For Brad Doty, Dave Arg.